So the February NPDs are out. And this is a very interesting list as what has happened. It's very interesting because of the online chatter with some of these games. You would think some would be higher, one in particular, and you think another would be lower. The one that you think would be lower ended up at the top of the list. Now, we've seen this happen before where there's a lot of hype built for a game, so it gets number one anyway. It just sells well because of the hype. But does this bode well for the gamers? Does this bode well for the company behind this game? So as some of you already know, Anthem's number one on the list. Now, it's hard for me to be upset about this because Anthem is made by my personal favorite studio in BioWare. I love what they did with Mass Effect. Not Andromeda. Andromeda withstanding. But I love what they did with Mass Effect. It is the greatest video game franchise of all time to me. So I can't hate the fact that they had a successful video game. Number one of last month. When it came out towards the end of the month and it still took number one. Same thing that Kingdom Hearts did last month. Back in January. It took number one for January and it came out like the last few days. So I can't be mad at that aspect. But what slightly bothers me is that this game, it's not very polished. In other terms, it's just not exactly very good. Now, the game has great gameplay, excellent gameplay. I said in my demo impressions that I love the Iron Man experience. That's what I called it. I love the Iron Man experience of the game. But I needed more to do. And the story, it just wasn't quite there for me. Everybody said that Destiny was missing a story. Well, we see what happens now when you try to give these looter shooters stories. It just doesn't work. It's not what they're built for. BioWare's the best storytellers in the game. And they couldn't do it. But more than that, the game's just broke. It is absolutely broken. On PlayStation 4, it crashes the whole system. It'll crash the whole system. Blue screens. Some people complained that it was shutting their PlayStations off. That's not good. So having bought the game, having played the game, beat the game, at least the main storyline of the game, I'm conflicted. I love this studio because they gave me the greatest experience of my life playing the trilogy of Mass Effect. But now they're two games in the hole. And they're going to have to dig and dig and dig themselves out. But it's hard for them to do that because they're under EA. Now, I'd love to give EA all the blame for this. But BioWare knew what it was getting into when they decided to take on this project. Maybe they was forced. Maybe EA said, we want a looter shooter. BioWare, make us one. I don't know why they would do that when they have Apex. They came out around the same time. So I don't understand. I can't blame all of this on EA. When your boss gives you a deadline, you make the deadline. When they give you the deadline, you have it done. You have it finished. I understand this is the video game industry. There's a lot of tech involved, and tech doesn't always work the way we want it to. But if someone says, hey, I want this done by May 1st, get it done by May 1st. Otherwise, you risk your job. In the video game industry, it's not always your job that you risk. It's your trust with the people that you're supposed to be making the product for. The fans. They're the ones who buy your game and support your company and feed those people who work on those games. It's a tough job. It's long hours. Some people will work like slaves. I could never be like an engineer or on the tech side of the development cycle when it comes to video games. I'd love to write a story for one, but I could never be on the animation side, on the tech side at all. Those are 10-hour days plus every day. It's hard, man. And I do not blame the developers as far as the individuals themselves for this. But something is wrong over there. Something is really wrong. And the game getting this much support, it won February. I said in my demo impressions, that's what it needed to do to be a success. But it forgot to do one thing. And that was actually be a worthwhile game. It didn't do that. So it's half a success in my eyes. It has the financial success. But so do a lot of movies. Look at all the Transformers movies. Billion-dollar hits. All of them suck. As far as the rest of the list goes, Jump Force is number 2. This one was surprising to me, considering that not only did the critics not also not like this game, just like they didn't like Anthem, they didn't like Jump Force either. But it was kind of just a reskinned, prettier version of J-Stars, and we all know how we felt about that. But it's good to see an anime title be so high. It shows how strong the love for anime and manga is over here. Once again, we've proved it once again. We've proved it every time that Dragon Ball has come back. We've proved it with our support of Naruto. Look at what's going on with My Hero Academia here in the United States. We prove it time and time again, and here we're proving it again with video games. We've always loved JRPGs, but this is something different with Jump Force. Speaking of JRPGs, Kingdom Hearts 3 is number 3. Last month it was number 1, of course. It took the month of January, beating out Resident Evil 2. I think Resident Evil 2 Remake is the better game. I'm currently playing Kingdom Hearts 3 right now. It's a bit overhyped. Far Cry New Dawn is number 4. I guess that's good for a mid-tier game, a $40 game. So, Far Cry New Dawn. The game kind of came and went, didn't it? Red Dead Redemption 2, number 5. Resident Evil 2 Remake, number 6, after coming in second place last month. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, 7. Now here's a kicker for you. Metro Exodus, 8. It's not good, guys. This was a big game. It was bigger than the other two games. Sure. It technically sold more than Metro Last Light in 2033. But it barely made the top 10. It's a brand new game in February. And to come in at number 8? Against Anthem? And games that were released in January? That's not good. That's not a good sign. Metro Exodus has decent reviews. It's got around an 84 on Metacritic. I don't know what happened here. Some people will blame the whole Epic Games incident. I don't believe it was that. I don't think you pissed off enough people with the Epic Games incident to suggest that it was going to cause this low of sales. Because that's a lot of people that you'd have to piss off to not actually buy the game. And as we see with Anthem, just because word of mouth about something bad is going on doesn't mean the sales isn't going to be strong. For a game like Metro Exodus, that's supposed to be, you know, the biggest game as far as scope, as far as production in that franchise, to it essentially, in my eyes, maybe not on their financial numbers as it is currently outselling their other two games, but I don't believe they wanted to come in number 8 for the first month of release. No one wants to come in 8th spot on your first month of release, no matter if it's a movie, a video game, or you're releasing a music album. But to do that, I have to call this a bomb. Metro Exodus is a bomb. I personally never had any interest in Metro Exodus, so I did not buy this game. So I guess I kind of helped contribute to it starting out at number 8. It's not good. It's not good. There was no hype truly around this game. I didn't feel it coming into the month of February. I didn't feel it upon release of the game. You want to know what was going on around the time this game came out, when this game came out? The 2 winners, Jump Force, Anthem. Metro Exodus came in at the wrong time. Too much competition. They probably didn't see those 2 games as competition, but looter shooters with how much money they truly cost at the end of the day, and a big game that, well, what turned out to be a big game in Jump Force, Metro Exodus had nowhere to go. Kingdom Hearts still out there. Probably wasn't beaten by a lot of people. Probably still isn't beaten by a lot of people if you're really taking your time with the game. Resident Evil 2 Remake was just so good that you just want to play it over and over, even if horror isn't your genre. February of 2019 was a fascinating month in video games. I can't wait to see what the rest of the year holds. I love when we get the NPDs every month. I don't discuss them every month. They're not always worth discussing, but this month was worth discussing. Anthem success, good for BioWare, yes. Good for EA, is it? Jump Force selling well, shows the culture of Japan. We appreciate the Japanese culture. We love anime and manga. And Metro Exodus's failures. All of that in 1 month. And packaging all of that in just 1 month. I love it. I love it. Let me know what you think of the video. Comment below on what you think of Anthem specifically, Jump Force's sales, Metro Exodus's failures. Let's talk about it. See you guys next time. All right, go home, take a bath, don't smell like swamp butt. I'm out.